So, hello everyone who just turned on the stream. This is a third season, but in the old environment, you can see the under construction line. Just don't have time to finish the setup I was making, so don't judge me. Today, in our little special episode, I guess, I invited the god of the modding scene, the guy who really revolutionized it, is the HJfod himself. So, you are now on stream, so say hello to people who are just
Hello.
you cut out just so funny. So, okay, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I'm, just HJing and footing all over the place. Just,
Oh,
feeling as usual. Nothing special, nothing interesting.
I guess the stability is a key, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into the general question I'm asking everyone, like almost everyone in this in the studio. How did you started playing Geometry Dash, and why did you choose the modding scene instead of creating or beating hard levels? Yeah, I know you are a creator, but why?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah.
I was about to say, but well, actually, I mean, I started playing this game in May 2014 on my brother's phone, and back then I was just, there wasn't a concept of creator or player. I was just, doing stuff like playing user levels and then creating some of my own stuff. But eventually it just morphed into me just, creating as a main thing because levels got so hard that I couldn't do shit. I am a terrible player at this game. So I just started focusing on creating, and then I did that for like 5 years. And then eventually I started getting bored of that. And one of my friends who was in the creator scene had also started doing some getting into modding stuff, but at the time it wasn't really certain what was possible with modding. Like it was just some people trying out, oh, you can add buttons and stuff, and oh, you can make creator hacks and stuff. But like how it really started was when in somewhere around September 2020, this modder named Powered by Pi released a texture loader, which was at the time like the first ever in-game mod that wasn't just a no-clip hack or creator hack, but actually had like a legitimate purpose, and the entire UI was meant to look like GD, and that was like when I was like, oh, this is actually possible, like this is really cool. And so I started to get into it. It was really hard because at the time the modding scene was sort of like, I don't know, 7 people who were just sharing stuff between each other, and I was like, hey, can I join your group and can you teach me everything? Sorry, I don't really know any C++. Can you just teach me all of it? And so they did, and I learned, and now things happened.
just as always, yeah, that's actually great stuff to hear. And did you saw the light in the modding? I can say that you did, but when did you came up with the idea to make a loader for the game?
Well,
I mean
like
not the I'm sorry. I mean not the loader, but an SDK too.
Yeah, well, back in 2021 when I started modding in January, there weren't really any public mod loaders. Like there was one by ADAF, which was kind of shit. Like it was just throw DLL files in a folder, but it was also really obscure. No one really had it. So at the time, I made a few of my own mod loaders, which were also really shit because they were just throw DLL files in a folder and it loads them. But at the time in early 2021, when first I got into the scene, and then a few other modders like Mats and Alk got into the scene, and also started making their own mods. And very quickly, it started becoming apparent that the way that we were making mods back then, which was just like do things, the mod does not know about anything else. It just assumes that it's the only mod being loaded because there's no way to know if any other mods are being loaded. It just wasn't going to be sustainable. Like in like summer 2021 already, there was a bug in GD share where if it was loaded after beta edits, the GD share buttons will be misplaced, which I made both of those mods and they were still incompatible, which is bad. And that was basically the situation with the entire modding scene. Like DLLs just could not do things like, well, you couldn't do stuff like globed or really anything on Geo nowadays, like securely, because you just have to assume that no other mods are loaded, and the users probably will have more than one mod, unless it's mega hack. Mega hack can just do whatever it wants, but everything else they need to we knew that they would need support from a like centralized SDK that could handle all of them and provides shared utilities for doing stuff, because otherwise it will just all fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
And well, originally the thing is that back in like all the way back in 2018, like way before I got into modding and way before like modding became a concept, there was a SDK named Hyperdash, which was basically Geode but just 5 years earlier, and the it was developed by this developer who nowadays goes by the name of Kynex, if I recall correctly. And well, it was meant to be Geode, but just 5 years earlier, which was revolutionary for the time. And back in 2021, it was still supposed to be released, but the thing is that it was never actually like there were some alpha versions that I got to use, but they weren't really usable, and it never got anywhere. And it was just a meme in the modding community at the time that, oh, when is Hyperdash when? It's gonna be released at the same time as 2.2, which is never. All right, Nikki, that's the name. Thank you, Justin, for reminding me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have gone by so many names, I keep forgetting what their name is. I'm very sorry. But yeah, so Hyperdash was. We were always just like waiting, like, okay, all of this is gonna be solved when Hyperdash is released. Like all of these incompatibilities between mods, Hyperdash is gonna fix all of them, and then we will be happy ever after. Just we had to wait for Hyperdash, and eventually, I remember there was a conversation I had with its developer where they were like, "Oh, just use Hyperdash." I'm like, "Okay, I would if you released it." And then they were like, "Okay, if you're so like so impatient, why don't you make your own Hyperdash?" And then I was like, "Sure, I fucking will." And well, it turns out it's a lot harder than just saying you will, but in the end, we did actually do that. So
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the concept is now a thing that people can use. And actually, I heard about the Hyperdash, and I'm waited for it too, because it's like, wow, it's like the thing with like loading mods and such. And I was
yeah,
hyped myself, but when I heard that this project is canned or cancelled out. By the way, I remember that like some of the snippets of the code of the Hyperdash is like in the Geode.
well, not exactly. As far as I know, there's no direct code from Hyperdash in Geode. Or I mean, Hyperdash's lead developer was a lead developer in Geode for a while, and we did have plans to actually merge with Hyperdash at a point, but then it just never went anywhere, and the developer just disappeared, and Hyperdash died out. But there are a lot of ideas from Hyperdash that are definitely still in Geode, like back in the day, like the way DLL mods were written was a lot different from how Geode mods are made nowadays, and Geode mods are a lot similar to Hyperdash. Like we need Hyperdash like invented this pattern of coding where you would write functions, and instead of doing a lot of stuff with registering vote. I don't know how much this will make sense, but like instead of registering hooks in a global function that just registers all of them at once, you would instead just add an annotation on the function itself, which is a lot simpler for modding because it keeps stuff self-contained and it makes it a lot more easy to reason about. And we still have basically that same thing in Geode using this modify syntax thing. I mean, there's a lot of technical C++ stuff, so I don't know if any of this makes sense, but yeah, Geode has taken a lot of ideas from Hyperdash, if not code directly.
Oh, okay. Make actual sense. And did you like expected the hype of the Geode? Like we have like mods with like several thousand downloads right now on the index, and like the general did you feel that like the Geode exceeded its initial audience?
Well, I mean, we always did like when I first did GD share, which was way before it wasn't even a mod, but just an external program. But then I thought that this is just gonna be like a small program shared between a few like prominent mega collab creators, and that's it. Like it's not gonna be a community-wide thing. But then by the time I did better at it and it got like tens of thousands of downloads, I realized, oh, there's actually a really big audience for using GD mods. And I did like expect that. Sort of like it makes sense that people who have, especially during that time when we were like 4 years into 2.1 and it seemed like when 2.2 was never going to be released, that people were desperate for new content and to fix all the long-standing bugs. So I did think there was definitely going to be an audience. I mean, it is overwhelming how well Geode is doing now, and like we did have a lot of troubles convincing people to switch over from traditional modding to Geode for a long while. It took us until 2.2, which just reset modding to actually get Geode to be adopted by the wider community. Before that, it was just some really enthusiastic mod users and modders who were like, no, this is the future, and then everyone was like, yeah, but it doesn't have any mods, so it's not really usable.
But right now, it it is like the
Yeah,
analogy.
right now it's
like the analogy
right
with
now
PlayStation
there are
5.
no DLL mods.
Yeah.
So when we were like in 2021, we were like, okay, one day Geode will be the de facto standard. There will no longer be DLL mods, and well, we did it. It just took us 3 years, but we finally did it.
Yeah, and I'm actually glad that like something like Geode is existing, because as the mod enthusiast myself, I was like fucking frustrated by installing the DLL mods.
Yeah,
And
I mean, continue.
yeah, and I like the idea in the Geode, like the compatibility checker or some sort. You can like the check what mod costs other mod to not load, and it is actually unloading the mod and not like loading it forcefully like with DLL mods. It is like it is actually better than Minecraft loaders. I'd say that.
Yeah, I mean it is like we're not actually aware of any video game with a more comprehensive mod loader than Geode. Like there's Spore, which does have which is also a C++ based game and has a really complex mod loader. I haven't really looked into it, but as far as we're aware, Geode is the most like comprehensive C++ mod toolkit for a video game like ever, which is kind of insane, but
Yeah.
and like it is also so funny to think about in retrospect how fierce some like Geode haters were when we were just starting out. Like some people were adamantly against it, like no, this will hurt mods because it will take away mods' freedoms because they now have to play by Geode's rules. And like in retrospect, it is so obvious how much better Geode is than DLL mods. But it is funny how like it's always obvious only in retrospect. Like back in the day when we were just starting Geode, it was just a pipe dream, and it was just like this will only work if we manage to convince people over. Because I mean, to be fair, if we have no mods, then yeah, it's not worth it. But it took a long time to convince people to switch over to Geode, and that the benefits would eventually be worth it. Like it took us until 2.2 to kill all of the traditional mods to like finally convince the rest of the modder base to switch over to Geode. Like,
And actually, gladly that traditional mods are died out. By the way, as a modder yourself and like maker of this loader, is GT code trash?
well,
Like, honest opinion.
well, how would I say? Like, yes, but it's not RobTop's fault, which is probably going to be really surprising to hear. But like, basically, or nearly all of the bad code in GD, like all of the bad decision and nearly all of the bugs that people complain about, can be traced in one way or another back to the game engine that GD uses, Coca-2D, because it is actually trash. It is so terrible. There are so many design decisions all over the place that just cascade out to immense consequences, and where it's just so frustrating to work with. Like, half of Geode is just monkey patching around Coca-2D because it's not fun to work with. And like generally, the more I've learned about Coca-2D, the more I realize that RobTop is like, he's a completely fine developer. Like, he's just following the patterns he's seeing, which are bad patterns. Like, of course, people can go like, oh, a more like skilled developer would, fix issues and start adopting better patterns. But in the end, RobTop is forced to use really bad coding practices by the framework he uses. Like, there's not much he can do about it. And like, on that scale, like compared to Coca-2D, GD's code is completely fine. Like, it's not trash compared to Coca-2D. It's just the foundation it's built upon is trash.
That's actually really interesting opinion. I like spoke with other modders in my time in the community, and some of them said like the Rob's code is trash itself. But maybe Roblox just fixed 2.2 code. I don't know, because I knew that he like almost rewriting code from the ground up, except from the like really
Yeah.
foundations like the physics and some of the like sprite rendering and etc. But other stuff he was like rewriting from the ground up, and that's why
Yeah.
2.2 is like launched after 7 years. So I don't blame him. But I heard
Yeah, and
some
I mean,
opinions. I'm sorry. Continue.
yeah,
Yeah.
to be fair, there are definitely parts of GD that are trash code and that are definitely written by RobTop. Like, I'm not saying he hasn't written bad code. He definitely has. I'm just saying, like, just going that, yes, GD's code is trash doesn't really give the full picture. Like, because there's a lot of RobTop hate in this community, and some of it's deserved. Like, there are definitely parts of GD's code that are bad and that they were made by RobTop, and he really should know better. But there's also a lot of stuff there. Like, he's building upon a trash foundation that, it could be worse. Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, RobTop's version of Caucus is modified. Like, he has modified it a lot, especially the Windows version. Like, the entire backend has been changed, so he could fix the issues with Caucus. It's just, it might be a little bit too much effort. Like, we do also have to note that GD is 10 years old, so he's not only working with a shitty ass framework, he's also working with 10 years of legacy code, which is
Absurd. Yes. And this is
not
like
fun to maintain.
yeah, and that's why I like respect the decision to ditch the like delay the update for the unreasonable time to like the clean some code and reread it. Oh my god, why did just my bitrate dropped? What the fuck? Excuse me. Just need to make some adjustments really quick.
Yep.
Okay, so um switch statements for loading texts. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things which are really goofy from a developer standpoint, like Robtop. When he makes a random text thing, it's not like the golden approach for that in modern programming would be just to make a dynamic array or a compiled time stack with a known array and just like pick one at random and use the array's length, so you don't actually have to specify any of the indices or the length of the array anywhere yourself. But the way Robtop does them is, and this is a thing that you won't actually see in the actual compiled code. This is from when Robtop did a few live streams back in like 2022 or something, where he showed GD's code a bit. We saw that he actually writes them a lot more explicitly than is reasonable. So he does have. So we do know that he does have coding practices that are questionable, to say the least. But like, it's fine. The game works.
Yeah,
That's my
it just
thoughts on it.
works.
Yeah, my thoughts on it are just like, no one can write perfect code, and the game works. It runs. So, as far as I'm concerned, Robtop is an alright developer.
By the way, about the Robtop and confrontation with him, like when he just joined like Globe server and then the GD programming server, how like what is your reaction to this occurrence of the like developer of the game?
Well, of course, my first reaction was shock. My second reaction was, "Oh my god, can we get hired, please?" And then my third reaction was, "Oh, he's just here to report bugs. Never mind." But actually, my first reaction was, "Oh shit! Didn't I just seconds ago? Oh fucking now he's in the chat. Fuck." But, yeah, I mean, it was like when he joined Globe, or I mean, when he joined GD programming, we already like knew that it was because of some bug hunting. Like we were just I wasn't just a certain modder was reporting bugs to them who's actually still doing it to this day. But and then he joined Geode and Globe, and at that point we were like, okay, so either he's just looking around, or he's planning on integrating these things into GD, or he's about to shut this shit down, and that's.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as far as I know, Robtop's fine with modding and Geode. Like, I remember back in like 2021, I asked Yprin, like, is Robtop okay with mods and stuff? Like, is he okay with things that don't allow cheating? And back then, Robtop was just like, yeah, sure.
I remember the times when Robtop players like actually have a beef with the modding community, and especially Team Hacks back in the day.
Yeah.
When they like wanted to bug hunt and report him like some really hazardous security bugs, but he just like, you are hackers, you are the threat of the society of this game, and etc. etc. I just found it so funny and corny.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then, this screenshot of Rob saying "I don't talk to hack people" just gets reposted, and it's really funny.
Yeah, and seeing him now like actually wanting to. By the way, I'm actually glad that Robtop open-minded about the coding community, modding community, because like many features right now in 2.2, especially from since game got its patches, it like have a dozen upon dozen upon dozen of the mega hack stuff in the game itself, and it's like I actually maybe he have like a beef with Absolute, but I'm not sure. It looked like that. It like looked. I liked it. Like.
Yeah, I mean, not as far as I know, Rob doesn't have beef with Absolute, but I mean, it's technically possible.
No,
I think he just looked like, okay, people really want these features in the game, so I'm just gonna add them myself. so people don't have to use mods. Because I mean, ideally we wouldn't need mods. Ideally, the base game would be so good that people wouldn't need mods. But I mean, Rob also, like he did implement most of Mega Hack, but he didn't. He implemented some better edit features, but not nearly all of them.
Yeah,
Like there's
I'm not.
still
I'm
a
not.
lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm not saying about the everything, but yeah, some of the crucial stuff like the hitboxes and music. By the way, about the music hack, it is actually a really clever way to introduce it to the game. I'm really love this concept to buy something like this. It is actually really clever, especially for
Yeah, I
the new
mean,
gamers, new like players.
yeah, it is like a lot of people were complaining that, oh, this is really bad for new players because this takes a lot of grinding just to get a feature that should be enabled by default. But at the same time, like I do like that Roblox is not just going, oh, people like these utility features, let's just add them as is. Like he's actually thinking about from the perspective of like what makes this game more fun, what makes sense from the perspective of this being a video game and not a mod for a video game. Because one thing that I didn't mention when I was talking about Rob's developer skills is that while his developer skills are, just all right, the thing is that Rob is really good at video game design. Like he's a really good designer, and all the like the user interfaces and all the graphics and stuff in GD, they're absolutely phenomenal. At least compared to what modders are doing, which is complete trash.
Completely agree. It's like the GD have its charm. Like it's
Yeah,
looking like a little silly, little goofy, like cartoonish, like look it have, but it's polished. It is have united style of it, like of the game. And
yeah,
the colors he choose. I am actually I'm usually talking about it with creators, but you was a creator yourself. So
yeah,
I'm actually spoken with creators before, like who is the best creator in the game, like in this stuff and this stuff. Many people said that RobTop is the best in terms of the color
yeah. Rob,
choices.
like there's a lot of people who often go like, "Oh, I'm gonna create a Rob Top style level," and I've yet good like match Rob Top's
Deeper Space?
style. Well, Deeper Space, like I was really excited for that because I looked at the creator and I, oh, there's a lot of good creators here, and they're saying they're gonna make a Rob Top style levels, and I don't feel like any of them are Rob Top style. Some of them were just completely not. Like the idea of creating a GD fan game like that, they did really well. Like it did feel like all of them were coherent and part of a single collection, but they were not Rob Top style at all.
Like
Like
RobTop
Rob Top,
inspired, yeah.
yeah, Rob Top inspired, but there's things about Rob Top style that people don't seem to get, like the way he uses colors, for example, but also some other things. Like Rob Top always uses blocks as they are intended, but not just in a plain way. Like he does a lot of more clever block designs, but in a way that like doesn't so-called break the rules of GD's design, because the things that creators do are just they just smash blocks together and make insanely complicated block designs. Roblox just he doesn't do block designs like that. It's more so like it's I don't know how to like it's more about structuring and coherency between all the parts, and a lot of like this less is more approach than about just adding as much detail as you can get. Like the thing that makes Robtop's style or trading style good is that he draws all the art obviously, and he knows how to use the art he has drawn. Like there's a lot of custom levels that use like the 2.0 bricks that just look like trash, but when Robtop does it in Deadlock, it just looks awesome because he knows how to use it. He knows what colors go good with it, and he knows how to use like floor lava and stuff appropriately, and also how to make all of this fit with the music.
Yeah, the music is the key in the levels. Of course, it's like a rhythm, like a rhythm platforming game. So But yeah, the feed of the music and the general gameplay, like all of the gameplay of the laptop is fun. Except the can't let go, the last part of the can't let go. This is like a miss. It's like a shit. And base after base. Yeah, and base after base. But apart of these levels, I guess, yeah, his gameplay style is really coherent and I'd say fun and side readable, but have a little challenge to the player, especially for the harder levels. But controversial take. Dash is the one of the worst levels in terms of the gameplay and like general structure. I don't know why I like it. It is a good level. But the decisions, for example, the infamous spider. Like, why? For what?
I mean, I would say Dash is a really fine level if you have already played custom levels.
Yes.
Like Dashes were like all the way back when Finger Dash was released, there are some parts where it starts to feel like Roblox is taking inspiration from custom levels rather than the other way around. And in Dash, it's just like blatantly obvious that Roblox is taking inspiration from the community, which is fine. Like that's completely fine. Like why wouldn't it? It's really cool that a game designer takes inspiration from their players, but it's Dash is losing that Roblox feel. Like from the very start, it's like you can tell that it's a Roblox level, but there's something off about it. Like it's in this uncanny valley of almost Roblox and at some points definitely Roblox still, but it feels a bit like a custom level, which in most cases wouldn't mean anything, but in this case I believe is a bit of an insult because like especially Explorers feels like a custom, or I mean
Explorers
on the surface it looks like a Roblox level, but it feels like a custom level. Like
yeah. I mean, like Explorers are being remade from the ground up, almost, as he said, because he saw the reaction from the community, and and did you know the length of the level?
no.
It is like almost Excel. It's like 150. It's like will be the longest level in the main roster. I was like shocked, like almost Excel. Like come on, or like you just could add some 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean one of the things also that Explorers highlights is Roblox song choices. Like they are like the first 20 songs in GD. They're at this point they've just been reified, and that definitely is part of it. But they don't feel like music. They're so good. Like unlike back in the days, they don't feel like music. They feel like perfect fits for just this rhythm game. But Explorers, like I remember when it was first revealed that Explorers was going to be a song, I was like, how the fuck is he going to make gameplay to this? This is like there's no beats here, there's no obvious structuring, there's really nothing here to like latch onto. Well, and like Dash is a really good song for GD. Like it works really well. There's a lot of different parts. It gets to the point really fast. But Explorers is just weird.
Yes, and I hope that the level, like the remake of it, will like be actually good. And by the way, SMJS, hello. It is like almost not almost like an honor to see you, like the person who worked with Rob himself. So this guy knows everything. And yes, we're like talking about the like in-depth stuff, yeah. Like the levels of Rob.
SMGS is also the reason I like got into modding. Or like I remember back in like 2020 when I was working on GD Share, and I asked SMGS like, "Hey, do you think it would be possible that buttons like in game to integrate GD Share in game?" And back then they were like, "No, that's impossible. Sorry, no one can do that." And then a year later, I did it. So
yeah. Um. But by the way, I'm so sorry for speaking with MJS right now. But this MJS, hook me up on Discord. Like I will get your place in my podcast if you want to. So okay, let's continue. Okay, let's be professionals here. Let's breathe and continue speaking about the topics. So do you want to see the SDK official SDK in the game? Like in the Terraria, like the T mod load it have.
Well,
Or make
there's
I'm sorry, or make the Geode as an official SDK for the game.
yeah, well, that's a bit of a problem because like making Geode official or adding an official modding SDK to GD is like it's a really fun because if it's done well, it's perfect. Like obviously, if it's done well, then yeah, hell yeah, that will be perfect. That will mean we will get mods on all platforms automatically. It will mean that we could even get like iOS modding, which would be awesome. But if it's done poorly, it's gonna be terrible, and I'm really afraid that depending on how it's executed, it's gonna be poor. But who knows? I mean, I would hope that if Roblox is gonna go for that, he would at least like consult modders on their opinion on what would be good. Like, I think in some ways, just officially promoting Geode might also be fine, or just like the thing that we modders have been asking for years is Roblox to release a PDB. That's really hard to say in spoken word, which is basically just a thing that will make modding a lot easier because it will basically give us mappings for each version of the game like automatically. Because currently the hardest or like most time consuming part of modding is finding out all of the bindings. Like it takes so long. And with BDB it will just all be automatic. Like we could just focus on the modding itself and not finding the things to how to mod. But Robhep has been kind of yeah, SMJS. I know you know info on this. I have talked with you about this. Like I don't know how much I can reveal, but there have been some talks with Robtops, and the short answer is no. The long answer is mayhaps, but not exactly in the way we have asked for. I don't know. There may have been developments on this, but
like Camila somehow made the iCrate, or did you need a jailbroken device to run it?
I mean, iCrate works without a jailbroken device right now. The thing is that Geode wouldn't work without jailbreaking. Like, the only reason that iCrate works is that all of the stuff is baked into it. Like, we have at times discussed like making Geode distributions for iOS that are just like a bunch of the most popular mods just baked into it and toggleable. So you couldn't install more mods, but at least you would have like the most popular mods installed. But we will see. That will be kind of a hell to maintain.
Well, yeah. But the thing is, like, let's discuss some controversies, and of course, I will discuss about click between frames. I mean, not in like this mod is caused so many controversies. Some people block this mod directly using the game, but I'm actually curious about the how RobTop will make it in the first place. I mean, working on all devices because he's a developer. It is not a mod. It needs to be ran on all devices. And I know the Camila made some sort of CBF on the iPhone, so it is actually possible. But how it will work and will it work? I really hope so. Like the Rob introduce the something like this. Maybe some different version, like for CBF, like with the unlocked polling rate for the PC, and the CBF on the iPhone is working like it just doubles the polling rate of the hertz of the refresh rate in the device, like it's doing some this weird stuff. So I
Yeah,
hope it's like works like this and not just like double the input frames everywhere. This will be shit.
yeah. Well, I mean, I I don't really, I've not really been in the CBF stuff or involved with it myself. I've just tried to not get involved with that stuff because it's a really contentious debate. But from what I've heard from the people more interested in it and who have looked into Rob's like plans on how to do CBF, apparently it's a bit uh, not that good. Like, I mean, the thing about CBF itself is that the code for it is just terrifying. It just budges on top of other budgets and it barely just holds together. But we will see what Rob will do. I mean, it would be nice to have like, I mean, if it was officially integrated, then we could finally at least settle the debates and just move on. But I mean, that all depends on what Rob does because he has also said that he will only add it if it works well, and we will see if he manages to make it work well.
I hope so, but SMJS just said like all I can say. Rob said no for now, but it's considering in the future depending on how the modding scene develops. So it is
Yeah,
right
that was
choice.
in
Yeah.
yeah, that was in relation to the BDB, the click between frames thing. I believe Rob has said that he's attempting to. As for Rob helping modders, that's what Rob has said no to for now. We will have to see if we will change his mind, but for now he has been like,
Oh,
no,
it's about
we will.
BDB stuff. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But what can I say about the like Rob Top himself? I'm glad that he opened himself after
Yeah.
after hiding in the cave of his. I'm sorry, hiding in his mansion. So
Yeah.
the GD Inspect is actually a really great tool. And seeing like the name RobTop in the index of geos is like absurdly funny. I don't know why.
Yeah, it is. It was when SMJS was starting the mod. She sent messages to me, and at one point I realized that wait, you're actually gonna add RobTop as a contributor? Oh wait, RobTop actually did go. Oh, I mean sure, that's hilarious. I mean in like when we were working on Geode's version for 2.2, at the start Globed was listed as developed by Robert Topola, which is not true. But it was a funny joke. But now there's actually like like I remember at the time I was thinking like, LMAO, what if RobTop actually did submit a mod here, and then it did. So cool.
Yeah, seeing the rapid speed of it. But actually, I discussed with other modders about this stuff, and I want to hear your opinion as a like main lead developer of the Geode. Come on, is it like dangerous to give some of you like beta testing of the game to like make Geode SDK earlier before the update drops? Like to drop the Geode SDK on par with the update or just like day or two after the update? Like, is it dangerous in terms of security?
Like for us to
Like, yeah, for
release.
leakage of the update, I don't know. I heard the opinions like, it is like really dangerous. RobTop should not do that because it's like they can do some really interesting stuff. Maybe like I don't know, but they got a point, I should say. But your opinion? What is your opinion on this?
Do you mean like RobTop giving us pre-release access to
Yeah,
new updates? So
yeah.
I mean, sure, but I'm I'm pretty sure he wouldn't do that because for that to be effective, he would have to give us access to like, or give access to not just the lead Geo developers, but also to a lot of prominent modders. Because the way that updating Geo currently works is that first we figure out like all the major stuff, like okay, how do we get the actual framework to run, and then it's just finding bindings, just a lot of finding bindings, and for that we just need other modders to contribute because mostly how it works is that modders go, oh, this binding hasn't been added yet, and then they find it, and then incremental just people submit 1 or 2 bindings every now and then, and incrementally it adds up. But for that to work, we will need a lot of people to have access to the pre-release version, and at that point, like, it's gonna get leaked.
Yes.
Also, yeah, as Simpson just pointed out, like the pre-release version would have to be the exact version that is released to the public. If there's even a single change, or not even a change, if Roblox just like compiles it again, that will just invalidate all of the work. Like it's just pointless unless it's the exact binary that will be sent out to the public later on.
I
with
guess
no
it is like fault of the Cocos 2X or 2DX. I don't remember the name of this engine.
It's more of a fault of just the way C++ works in general. Like
Oh,
C++, when compiled, will produce. Well, there's a bit of randomness involved in what will come out, and that randomness will affect like mods in the way that mods need to know the exact locations of certain stuff in the binary, and they will be shifted around on every compilation. So if Rob recompiles, it will just like if the work done to find all the bindings will not work anymore because they rely on hard-coded addresses which will have changed around after that. So it will be more worth for Rob to give us a PDB because that will just drop the bindings finding part entirely. Like giving us pre-release access wouldn't really help with anything.
yeah. Okay, that's like just make sense, and that's why the every mod like just completely breaks after the new update. Okay,
Yeah.
now I get it.
Yeah, that's something we can't really do. Like the only thing we could do about that is if Rob either gave us a PDB or if he just directly compiled GDB symbols, but he has, like as Massim just mentioned in the chat, he's not gonna do that. Or maybe in the future, but currently he is not gonna do that.
Because of the
So
security issues. Yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah, because there are some. Actually, I don't know if I can say this. Because of
If you
security
yeah,
reasons.
if you're not sure, do not say like I
Yeah.
I love the some secret info being in my podcast and be archived in my on my channel, but respecting the boundaries here. So
Yeah.
like this is actually intriguing. Asking you questions like this, I always wanted to ask questions like this. To like go in depth in the modding scene because I adore it from the like to like almost from the start. And when the DDLs went to the like general public. And by the way, did you know that I have a first collab using the editor collab mod, like first ever in the game.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it is like was made for the video for the Russian YouTuber Decoded. I was actually asking Camila like or Akim or AKLEM. I forget
Yeah, Alchem.
Alchem. Yeah, ask them just like, yo, can we have like a servers for the video? And they, yeah, sure. And we like made. By the way, where the editor collab? Do you know about any of this? Like, are you? I remember that you are contributing to it or not. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I have contributed like well the story here is kind of funny. Like back in the day, like when I started modding, actually the first ever mod I started working on was editor collab. Like the thing I wanted to do, the thing that got me into modding was that I wanted to make multiplayer editing. And then I just got distracted for 3 years doing everything else until Alk then made it herself. And currently the thing that's been delaying is it's just school work, as far as I know. Like Alk just has been uh, doing university work and hasn't had the time to port editor collab. But as far as I know, she is still like actively porting it, and it's just taking a while.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for something like this to release. I know that it have the globe support right now. And do you know Rainix by any chance?
Yeah, I do. I have helped them with a lot of modding stuff.
You know that he made like a web dash thing.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that Integer Collab and Globed will work like this. Like, it is like generally really funny to make them obstacles appear in real time. Like for the videos, it's like an
Oh, right.
absurdly yes, it's like absurdly great idea for the like live events or just videos like for the YouTubers because
Hmm.
actually modding is the way to continue the interesting content on the Geometry Dash YouTube. And in one time I wanted to like commit to it. Nuzlocke mod by Doggo Trigger is what requested by me because I was like asked him like, dude, let's do this because Juniper did this and let's do this as a mod. It will be banger, and it is a banger because it is fun and many people made their videos with this. And I want to make something like request some modders to make stuff like this. I have like planned for a long time a thing called Side Reach Challenge. It's like a compilation of the levels that you should side read. It will have a modification with that just bans start positions, what is it called, practice mode, etc., like any way to practice levels. So want to make this, and I have many plans to like get into the, I don't know, let's say that entertainment mods. Just you want to play and like have fun with them.
Yeah.
Just like Nuzlocke, like have some challenge or have something to like to do for the while because GD can get kind of boring.
Yeah, one thing that I've been waiting for someone to do more is there's a tag on the Geode index for mods that are labeled content mods, which I'm waiting for people to make them. But like the basic idea is just anything that adds more content to the game because most mods are just, bug fixers or utilities and stuff like even better edit, which is really complicated. At the end of the day, it's just, you know, enhancing existing features. It's not adding anything like any new content, but like I'm waiting for there to be more content mods because it will be awesome. Like I've sometimes thought that it would be really nice to do like a GD story mode mod, like just a bunch of levels that have a connected story that are added as like main levels into the game because that would be so cool. And that's also like if you didn't know anything about Geo, like before that, what if you were talking about GD mods, the first thing you will probably think about is like, oh, mods that add new blocks or mods that add like
Yeah,
new main
that's
levels,
just in
but no
Minecraft.
one
Yeah.
does that. And it's so I mean, for adding new blocks, there's actually a really good reason for that, which is that anyone without the mod installed couldn't play the levels. But adding new levels, that's really just, you know, that doesn't happen just because modders aren't creative in or like very few modders have like creating skills and also time to do that stuff. So
Actually, I remember that like Gena Morphosis make his like Geometry Lunar thing, like the fun made game using a mod.
oh yeah,
Yeah, something.
yeah, and also like for Geometry Dash Deeper Space, like I believe that wasn't made into a mod, but that really should have been because that would be a great content mod.
By the way, you just flipped my switch. I had like you said like the GD story mode. I have like a absolutely banger idea for this kind of stuff. I was ranting about the in my like Telegram channel. Yes, in Russia we use Telegram channels. It is like a normal thing to have in contact with the general audience. It is like don't okay. So I have a Telegram channel and I have a rant about like we don't have some boss levels in main line of levels. I mean, not just like
Yeah,
just like a scary thing like attacking. No, like in rhythm games, like in Archaea, Figros, etc. Like some sort of a gimmicky level that outstands from other levels. Like they change the styles, they introduce new mechanics, like they have an impact on the story and have an unusual way to unlock it. It is
yeah,
actually like Stormfly introduced this kind of stuff when he made his April 1st video that not actually came out on the April 1st and was February for some reason. Yeah, but still, like, we don't have anything of this, and GD is actually a great game to introduce something like this. It has this general storyline with. Actually, we just released a fucking beast from from the jail, and he will like can do some mayhem. Like, I don't know if we're speaking about the story mode of this game. Like, in one moment, the a general UI of the GD will get like more darker and have only one button to play, like to play his gauntlet of levels, to pass him and fight him, or something like this, like something like really silly in like how Robtop will do it, I guess. Like something like silly and corny just to have fun. So I really hope that.
I remember when Just Shapes and Beats was released. But my first thought was like, you could make such a banger, like just like follow the same structure, like a silly little 2D adventure, but in GD context, it would work so well, and it would be so fun to play. Like, I don't know why anyone has. Okay, I mean, I do know why no one has done that. It's because it would take forever to build all of the levels, and also would require not only like design skills, but also just general game design skills, and you know, it will require a lot of music, and it will require a lot of like story writing skills. So there's a reason no one has done it, but it would be so cool though.
It is actually done something like this. It is called Nexium. I don't remember for sure, but it is like a GT RPG using the RPG engine, but used with the GD levels. Like, you search for the codes in the game, like you search for the IDs in the game itself in the separate like window, and you hope in the GD to receive a code to progress further in the game. It is like a fusion between two executables in like this clanky way, but actually someone doing this, but not in the game completely, like fully, like as a mod. So yeah. Mod that adds your search history. Yes, that's a banger idea actually. It exists or not? I don't remember.
I mean, you could. Alpha mentioned the custom object API. I mean, Camila did make a custom object API back in the day. The problem with that is just like no one cares enough.
Yeah.
There's not enough drive to keep one going. Like, it requires at the end of the day a lot of maintenance, and also you need to figure out a way to deal with like, what if someone who has a vanilla game tries to play a level with custom objects, and you also run into issues like, can a level with custom objects be rated? Like, will DropTop go, no, this contains invalid information, I cannot rate this, even if the custom objects were just like, cosmetic. But
I
it would be
mean,
cool though.
yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff is working more for the like fan-made games.
Yeah.
Not like a general, like in Minecraft you have a mod that adds some blocks in the game. No, it will not work in GD in the
Yeah.
GD, but like for fun game, yes, sure. It is like will get like really cool to see something like this. And actually, fuck it, I need some fundings, some people, and I will fucking do it. I have some storytelling skills myself, and fuck, I will write the story for this. You actually sparked the idea, the flame in me, but I need to schedule it properly. But still, yes, this is actually a great idea to have. So many videos about this will get in the YouTube, like.
Yeah, I mean, if I stumbled across like 1,000 hours of free time, I would also absolutely do this, because it would make for such like, it would just make for a community event at that point. Like, it would just spark, even if it was like half-ass, like really badly written, people would just make videos on it, because it would actually be something to do. Because currently mods are just like, they're kind of boring. You cannot like center entire YouTube videos around them, or unless it's just like showcasing them. But there's not that much about them that's interesting. But like a story mode mod, that would get so much further, and it would just it will be awesome. It was just actually like breathe life into this game.
Yeah, and I really hope for the content levels. God damn it! Like this feels like I urge to make this even I don't know shit about the C++. So okay, like let's calm down a bit. EVW and my random tab mode. Yeah, actually, but by the way, yeah, like some sort like this on Nuzlocke, as I mentioned before. But let's think. What I want to ask. Oh yeah, I remember. Remember when I wrote you like 3 years ago when I want to make a server with to contribute to show people that mods exist and such. Like this is my first ever message in this chat. So yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, and I'm glad that Geot exists. I'm really glad that my idea get ahead of the over the time. Like yeah. So actually, the question is, what? How do you see the Geot in the future? I mean, how it will progress, what will be added, if you can share, of course. If it's not a surprise. So, how do you see the Geot in the future, like in 5 years?
Probably pretty close to what it is now. Like, I mean, the change from Geode version 1 to version 2 was really dramatic, and the same was for version 2 to version 3. Like, the entire UI changed. But right now, I think the UI is just, there's nothing to change about it. It's future proofed. It will look good in the future. I mean, it's possible that at some point I will go, change the colors to Geode colors was a mistake, and maybe we'll switch it back to GD style colors. But like aside from that, the UI is good. It works. There's nothing wrong with it, and I think it will stay like on the user side. It will probably just stay the same. Currently, like for the next major version of Geode, which will come out whenever the next major version of GD comes out, we'll be rework like I'm just about to finish reworking the settings system, so there will be a lot more stuff there, like titles and stuff, but that's mostly for developers. Like for users, it's not gonna be that much of a change, except that they will be a lot cleaner, most likely, and more straightforward and less buggy. But in the end, that's not that much of an user side change. Actually, one user side change that all people will see is probably mod packs. We've been working on those for ages, or well, not really working, just throwing ideas around. And the basic idea right now is just that we would start off by just having a certain like a set of pre-made packs that we would just handpick by index moderators, like editor tools and gameplay
Oh,
essentials and stuff. So people would have an easy way to install a bunch of related good mods, because there are some mods that basically everyone probably should have installed, like GD share and stuff. So there- that will be what mod packs is for. But and maybe in the future we might expand that to so users or modders can create their own packs, but we will see. And another thing is that we want to change the sorting of mods from being based on download count, because just like a week ago, someone bought at the Geode servers and gave quality of life mod like 1 million extra
oh yeah, I
downloads.
saw that. Yeah.
So we need to figure out a way to make downloads not matter that much anymore. But still, we have yet to figure out a better sorting method. Like I have suggested one, but it takes a bit of like it's really hard to implement, but at some point we will have to probably do it. So the mods people see on their front page are gonna change, but that's honestly probably about it. Like past like version 4, I reckon Geode will be mostly about just developer-oriented changes, if even that. Like the framework is honestly approaching a point where it's just done. Like there's not much to improve about it. There's not much to change. There's not much to add unless GD like fundamentally changes at some point. We will probably just stay the same, and it will be more focused on like getting new mods on it and making sure everything is stable and stuff. But yeah, the answer is probably really uninteresting. There will probably not come that much.
Glad that this project is like nearing its completion in terms of the user side. Of course, in the developer side, it will have like constant updates. Of course, it will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually great that you nailed the user experience like almost at the first try. I mean, when the Geode went to the general public, in like in mainstreamed itself, yeah.
Yeah, like the thing about the UI is that originally when we free-run our ideas for it, they were a bit different from what we have today. Like the general idea is still the same, but the UI, like originally I made the original UI in like 2022 or something, and back then it was really simple. And then I started working on better it and stuff myself, so I wasn't really looking at the UI. And over time, it just started to grow and grow, and people started to add new stuff to it, and it wasn't really up to date with many of the better Geode utilities like layouts and stuff. So it started to look pretty horrible, and then eventually I was like, we should just redesign this from the ground up to make sure that it's, future proofed. And that's what the entire like Geode free, yeah, the old UI now looks like 5 years old. Like it looks
Yes, I
so
agree.
much
Yeah.
worse in retrospect, and like I think it was definitely worth it. But I spent like 3 months redesigning the UI, which also required a lot of internal changes. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the UI looks like right now. There's really nothing, like I feel like it's done on that side. Like generally, I think of the only UI change we will make anymore, if we make one, is probably change the colors back to GD ones.
Please have an option. Please have an option to stay in the.
Yeah, I mean currently the option is to toggle it to GD colors if you don't like the Geode ones, but the GD color option that currently exists is literally just like hacked together in a few minutes, because I was like, okay, sure, I will add it, but you will see that it looks bad. And it looks bad because I didn't bother to make it look good. Like it could definitely look good if I bother to spend like 5 minutes on it, but
yeah,
I will probably look into that at some point, because I do think that Geo looking so different it's fine, but it's a bit jarring. Like if you come from a haven't used mods ever before perspective, because like originally when like my passion for modding comes from like 2.0, when I was like, oh, it would be so cool if you could like add new game modes yourself, like a game mode that could teleport from the floor to the top and then rob the battle that as a spider and stuff. And back then I imagined modding to be like people just expand the game, like adding new objects and adding new levels, and in the way that GD exists. Whereas modding nowadays is more about doing stuff sort of GD style, but not exactly.
Yeah, not exactly. Yeah. And I just have a question. It's again a controversial one. I remembered the thing that especially I've posted, yeah. The GD neural controversy. You should remember this. Like when I posted on Reddit the thing, like the meme house, one of my friends are developing the AI assistant for the creators. Do you remember that?
All right, yeah, I do remember that.
Like this actually is so funny. Seeing like how people freaked out about this mod. It's like, oh, it will replace everyone, or the generative slope will should not be in the game, or something like this. And I remembered like you've done something for like this in the 1st of April, like as a joke.
Yeah, I did that, and to this day, I still get like every now and then someone going like, "Hey, how do I enable the Chat GPT features in Beta 8?" And I have to tell them like, "Sorry, that was an April Fool's tweet. I'm very sorry that you had to learn this way." It's
Yeah, but wait, something in my throat. I'm so sorry. So, do you know about more about this project, like in depth? Like, what is it really about? You want to hear?
the AI thing.
Yeah, the AI thing, like the general.
It was like all it was, as far as I remember, it's just someone themselves trained an AI using their own creations. It wasn't trained on anyone else's stuff. It was just their own creations. A thing that would complete block designs. Basically, they also built tool from 2.2, but a lot more automatic.
Yeah,
And
it's actually like this. Yeah.
like honestly, if it wasn't for the recent AI scare, that probably would be completely fine. Like honestly,
And the thing is, it's actually training on its own models. So it is
yeah,
not using like ChatGPT or others. It's like made from the ground up, and I absolutely respect that. Seriously, this is some serious dedication in this project. He wanted to fund this. Like seriously, he wanted to fund this project as a part of the like AI research thing, but it flopped sadly. But almost get fundings. Like it will be like funniest shit ever to see a founded project about the AI to make some blocks in this game.
yeah. I mean, it is understandable because like all the way back in, I think, even before I started modeling, like in 2020 when I did GD share, me and the other person who, Mercury, who we like, they were the person who originally suggested GD share to me, and like they had brainstormed it with another of the friends. So we also talk about, wouldn't it be funny to make a program that would automatically decorate a layout, using a generic template? You just give it a layout and it would automatically decorate it. Like this was even before ChatGPT. This was just, you know, because I thought like generally the algorithm for that would be somewhat simple in the end. Or I mean, at least it's simple to write out in paper. Actually doing it in code is kind of difficult, but we were actually working on that because we thought that it would be really funny to get a Radix level and then reveal afterwards that hey, actually this was decorated entirely by AI. We did not place a single block of decoration, but it never got off the ground because I didn't have the time to finish it. But it would have been funny. Also, we called the program the Vibrant's Dream, because it would just generate creator points, but and also when we were working on that, like the idea was never to actually release it to public because
It will cause some mayhem, yeah.
Yeah, making an AI credit level using stuff you have like trained yourself, using AI models you have trained yourself, and to a level you want to do, like doing it once is actually novel and actually really interesting. It's a GD level decorated by AI. That's really cool. That's interesting as a concept. But you can only do it like once or twice, and after that, it's just boring. Like it's the same as the Sputniks when he did like the levels that were created by procedural generation. Like they're really cool when done once. Like the whole gimmick is that it's done. This is a novel new thing, and let's see what results we get. But if it's just done all of the time, then it gets boring and takes away from the point of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, and that's why I'm actually seeing, like, from my perspective about the GD neural thing, I'm actually excited to see how people will use it, because it will, like, be restricted, of course, to not get I guess we talked about it, but I'm not sure will we implement it or not. But we wanted like to make it do a reference image. Like you feed the structure, it generates the image, and you can use it. Like you can trace it, you can use it as a reference, as a color reference, etc. Just to not make like it placing blocks in the editor because of the controversy it caused. And we
Yeah.
understood that, and we just like, okay, we will do something like this, and I don't know if we'll do it or not, but still, the main reason why we halted the project for now, it's the money. We need like some sort of like $20,000, $30,000 to maintain this. So yeah, this is like a very fucking huge money, especially for the people from Russia, because it's like almost a 1 million rubles. So yikes! For the GD mod, it will be like if it will ever releases, it will be like the most expensive mod in the history of the GD. So,
Yeah.
and I hope that it will get like some recognition and will be used as a tool and not as a AI generative slop like we have right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would generally be useful, and like, I have sometimes considered, like, I have said that Bitterate will never have AI features, but I have considered like making the auto build system more like useful, because just the idea of being able to create your own block designs and being able to decorate a part by just pressing a button, that is interesting, and like I think it can be useful because like currently creating is so tedious. Like I've been planning a lot of different ways you could make it so people could create faster, like just things that will allow them to place multiple blocks at the same time, like brushes and stuff. Because currently it's so tedious to have to place every block one at a time, and like I know Minecraft has the rule that it should be one block at a time, but I don't think it should apply to Geometry Dash. Like,
Yeah, yeah, agree. And actually, I'm so sorry, but like in my mind, when you said like I don't want to implement AI features, but and I was like, remember like the Green Goblin's mask calling calling it Oswald like just to yeah. So it's like just funny image in my head. So by the way, about the Better Edit Pro, like what is
oh
this?
right. Well, it isn't called Pro anymore. It's now called Supporter for reasons, but basically the idea is that I get some money because I'm a sports student and I need some money to like support myself. So the idea is just to give like extra, because a lot of the features in Better Edit are really complex, not really useful for the average person. Like they're more for advanced users. And the idea is that, maybe all of those features don't need to be available to everyone for free. Like maybe I can just put some of them behind uh, a supporter tier. So, well, the idea is that people can support me and then they can get extra features, as thank you for it. And the extra features that are included, there are stuff that don't feel like essential, or like, because things like the redesigned edit menu, it's just too ingrained. Like, yeah, I couldn't with good conscience make that stuff paid. Like it's, and I mean, originally when I started Bitter, it like at the start I was like, this will always be a free mod, because, and the reasoning for that was when I was a creator myself, I like back when I was a young child, I couldn't have bought mods for a video game myself because I would just have to go and ask my parents, and my father would just go like, "What? You want to buy a mod? No." So the reason Bitterhead has been free is because I don't like. I know that it would have been useful to me personally, and that I also couldn't have bought it if it was paywalled. So I want to make it free for everyone, but I also want to pay my rent. So
Yeah,
it's a
the
it's
rent
a
is there.
compromise between like letting people support me and giving them an incentive to, while also keeping like the most essential feature of the mod, like of the bug fixes and the redesigned menus, like keeping them in their
Behind the
like my
paywall,
plans.
yeah. But
Or I mean,
yeah, continue, please.
yeah, like currently the features I'm planning for the supported here are just like pre-release access to new features and then also a redesign of the entire editor UI and then some niche stuff like the group summary and stuff. But most of the features for B are still gonna be B is so hard to. It's just like B. You have to have a better edits. Most of the stuff for better edits are just gonna be free.
And I like this approach. Actually, like the easiest compromise to fulfill the compromise is like to just make a pre-release addition to the supporter tier, but actually making the UI of the GD change when you support the mod and have the pro version
Yeah.
is actually a really great idea. So it is like a feature that not needed, but when you start using it, you will never came to the like vanilla and vanilla editor UI again.
Yeah, that's one of the things that with Better It that has always been my goal to make it so good that people forget that things are better at features, which has happened. Like when 2.2 was released, people were like, "Wait, this like all all of these inputs were they weren't in the vanilla? I thought they were in vanilla. Nope, they were better at features. What you cannot do this? Nope, that was a better feature." And it's so like oh, it's it's cool, to make something that's actually so good that some creators have told me that they only switched to 2.2 when better it was available for it. Like they couldn't just use the 2.2 editor at all.
Yeah, because like okay, the laptop can do like UIs and stuff, but editor is like the clustered mess.
Yeah,
And we using it because we just like know where stuff is. Like in terms of the new player or the new creator who just launched the game, he will see like, oh no, fuck it, I will never
yeah,
touch this shit again because it is like so cluttered, and I really hope that Rob himself will do some sort of redesign of the UI of the editor because it needs to be more modern. It worked when it was like two objects, but now it's like
yeah,
200,000 of objects. So it's like it's not. You know that some of the tabs like don't have a dots at the bottom, like they exceeds
yeah,
from the frame, and it was like so funny to see. But
yeah. I mean, if honestly, if I had like, if I ever got hired for GD, I would really love to redesign the editor like for the base game. Because there's so much potential there. Like it is one of the most versatile game editors ever. It's just I feel like it is not an unsolvable issue. Like it could be redesigned in a way that is approachable to new people, but also at really advanced for people who need that more advanced stuff. It just requires a lot of like effort, but it would be really fun, and that's why I've always like wanted to add that as a better edit, as an optional better edit feature to just like redesign the entire editor with new features in mind.
I see the redesign of the editor like, first of all, I see my vision on it is like, first of all, it will include the proper tutorials on the triggers and other stuff using the existing editor guide. Uh,
Yeah,
and for the new people, and it will have like something like in Super Mario, like Super Mario Maker type stuff about the tutorial. Like it will, how it is called? Like it have it like tutorial courses, with like Pigeon as a teacher. I remember that from the Super Mario Maker 2. I hope that something like this eventually will get to the game, to the editor, because it's essential for the new people to understand. Because even the overhauled new tips from by the Viperin and Autonic, it is like no, it will not help the upcoming creator who just like launched the game and wanted to create something new in it, because like the triggers is really complicated, and fuck me, it's like GT is like a game engine at this point, so it needs some proper introduction to the people, and editor guide is like a really great start for it, but integrate this editor guide into the game, not just like a button to redirect you to the PDF file. Oh my god. Yeah. So, but integrate it into the game. And actually, someone make please a mod to integrate something like this in game. It will help some people out for sure, even advanced ones, because even I searching for some stuff when I create levels through the editor guide. But yeah, and I want to see something like in the game. I hope you will somehow introduce this in the better edit, because it will like not the courses, but like the editor guide integrated in the GD.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been planning on that, or at least making a tutorial for better edit features, but also just explaining general GD features, like just having like, you know, the shopkeeper appear and just explain how stuff works, because like having to read a 200-page PDF to understand a video game editor is absurd.
Yeah. And no one actually made a proper guide for it still. Just copy the text and speak for it. I might actually do it myself, because it will be generally more understandable for the new people. Like, okay, we will not consider seeing the editor guide implemented in the game, but someone makes like some series of the using this guide, or like one complete huge video, like something like in programming scene, you know, like these videos like learning PyCharm in 24 hours or something like this, like one huge video with all of the features and such. But I hope this will be done by the community or by the game, and I'm actually really excited to see your vision on the editor, and I hope it will like be far superior than the mess we have right now.
Yeah. And I mean, in general, also, I've sometimes been like dreaming about making a complete overhaul of the entire UI, because you know, like how Osu has that Osu laser.
Yeah.
Years. I've been thinking like, as a fun side project, I once started working on like a GD laser that would just overhaul the entire game's UI, just the entire UI style to not like stick to the GD bubbly style, but a bit more modernized. But that never went anywhere because it's a lot of work.
And I actually think that the UI of the Geometry Dash is reasonable, except of the editor, of course. But the general UI of the GD is bearable for the new player. It is actually intuitive in some sort.
Yeah, it is actually. I think it's a really good UI, especially compared to what modders do. Yeah, SMJS, Rob did say that, but
he did say.
I mean, we'll see what he thinks. I mean, Rob is a good UI designer, especially compared to most modders. So I'm excited to see what he does. But
no, he said that in the general public. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, he has said that publicly. Don't worry, you didn't leak stuff.
But if so, it is on tape. But yeah.
I mean, we just rumors, suggesting this.
By the way, it is actually interesting to speak about this topic with SMJS. We will have the I'm hiding this question to the SMJS podcast, because it is like a really interesting question about the art system in the GD. Like You remember like when Rotop said like it will be a system when people can upload custom art in the GD using its service, and it will be like moderated by people for the appropriate and inappropriate stuff. And my vision in it is like it will. I guess Rob even said that it will like not like the custom art that will allow you to do some beautiful backgrounds and realistic I don't know, rocks, but it is like a sprite sheet for the blocks, and these blocks will be added in the game like and that's it, like not like custom arts when you can like just cheat and make something beautiful in the Psy or like Procreate and just get in on the service and plop into the editor. Like it will completely ruin the creative aspect in the game in terms of using GD objects to make something gorgeous. But I really hope that it is not what I just came in, like it is not a Mandela effect of some sorts, and Robtop did say that it will only have like some sprite sheets with like some general blocks, and people can like do their blocks to get others to like install and place in the editor. I hope it will work like this. It will be actually a banger feature, but not in the terms of like making general art.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like more like the custom object workshop mod in Geode, which lets people just share custom objects, which will be actually a banger feature to have in game. Like you could just like share if you have made like a custom fonts, and also if you could package custom object in like folders and stuff. That would be awesome.
We have a mod that's like released not too long time ago that introduces the online browsing of the custom objects.
Yeah, there is. That was actually originally made for a. Every October we have hosted this Modtober thing where modders are challenged to make a mod in a month, and then we rate them, and the best mods gets publicly called really good. We don't really have any prizes, it's just between modders. And one of the submissions one year, I think last year, was custom object workshop, and then now someone recreated it for Geode in 2.2.
So I'm and by the way, I know about the Mottobers, and I'm want to see the next theme of the Mottober. I'm excited. I can write shit, but I'm really interested in this. I like a viewer.
Yeah, I mean, October is just around the corner, so we had to come up with something. I don't remember what our last themes. I think our themes were just, make something good.
Is it like about the menus, some sort, or is it like way too long ago and I just remember that?
Yeah, let me see. I mean, we have.
The prize money will be
Our
great in the next October. Yes, absolutely. But not like $1,000 like in NCS Gauntlet, but something like 10.
$6 billion.
Billion gazillion dollars.
A
Yeah.
brand new car!
2 years ago, yes, it was minus. Yeah, 2 years ago. Fuck, I'm old. Remembering stuff like this and not stuff like occurred like some year ago, but I remember like something occurred 10 years ago. Fuck yeah. Woohoo! So, about
All right, okay, SMJ. That's the easy way to flex. You have a job and shit.
No, I was considered 200 euros for first place. Actually, this will be a great introduction for the people who know C++ to participate in the modding community, to give them money, like to chance to get the money, of course. Gonna win Amazon. Okay, I already love the chat, like right now. Guys, like modders is such a funny people. I really enjoy the company in the modding scene, like speaking with modders. I'm actually like I guess it's not like a toxic waste as a general community. It have its
Yeah, I don't know.
controversies, but yeah.
There's something about modders that they just become like they are suspiciously funny people. Some modders, and I think it's partially because if you're smart enough to do C++, you're probably old enough to be funny. Like you're not just 12 years old, but
I'm so sorry about it.
it is. We have a like our expert modders Discord server is just half just the funniest shit ever, and the other half is just everything that's not related to modding. Also, yes, SMJ says modders used to be really toxic.
Yeah,
Like, when
I
I
remember.
joined the scene, it was a place. Like,
Yeah, no
I mean,
shit.
Also we have a like meme in the modding community that like the Geode lead developer chat is the most toxic chat in the entire community. Like, it is a place that where there is no mercy for anything. It is.
No, the general programming community is harsh, but in a good way.
Yeah, but like the Geode lead development chat, it is a place where you will be shot like and murdered if you
Do something wrong, yeah.
stupid. I mean, nowadays it's basically the same as everything else, but back in the days it was actually like considerably more toxic than everything else. Like there was one lead developer who left the chat because of how toxic it was.
Oh my god. Yeah, now modders are all Uvucat girls. Fact checked by the Patriots of the United States of America. Actual facts.
So let me see. I believe our quote system should have. What is this? Yeah, here it is. There's this meme that's just like. Let me just send this to you to describe how our attitude to lead development chatting.
Yeah, SMJS was in Team Hugs. Oh my god. Dude, we need to make a podcast with you. This will be like a banger podcast with you, especially because I remembering seeing, like, I remembering watching what Team Hugs doing when I was like a little kid, was like a 12 years old, 12, 13 years old. Actually playing this game for 11 years for now, from the September, yeah. It's actually really scary, I guess, and remembering stuff like this. Not in its prime, yeah. I actually...
No, did I say I was in Team Hacks?
No,
Because...
I guess he means like the toxicity thing.
Yeah, because I was never in Team Hacks. I was friends with SMJS at the time, and she sent me a lot of stuff about Team Hacks, and I was like, wow, that's toxic as hell. But yeah, I was not in Team Hacks.
And I guess for the good reason. Wow, that's...
Someone on Discord said that you have an awesome mic.
It is about me?
That is a good mic. I do have to agree.
I just saw what you sent me. Fuck, I'm dying. Okay. I'm pinning this shit here. I'm actually pinning this shit here. Okay, this is funny as hell.
This is lead dev chat, bitch. We cloned this motherfucker bit to check your sensitive aspect to GDB general. It's a lot of.
Oh yeah. And that's why I love to see like the community getting rid of like some toxic people and making fun of them after. Oh my god, this such a redemption arc. I love this in the communities.
I mean, it is also like hilarious how much, like, we have some inside jokes in the modding community that are just so specific that there are like, I don't know, 3 people on this planet who would even be able to understand them, but they're so funny.
Yeah, inside jokes are inside jokes, man. This is like the funniest shit you will ever see in your life.
Yeah, and it's like if someone asks you, okay, so the context is like Bible long, so
It's like huge video essay for 5 hours long about an inside joke in the 3D modding.
yeah,
I
5 hours inside joke explaining what dev chabich means.
what? Okay, now I understand what you mean. It's like I can't even comprehend what is it about. Yeah.
There's like this quotes I made like ages ago where it's basically the meme I sent you, but with different words, and trying to explain like that joke is that will be quite an experience because it not only it's based on that meme, which is based on things that happen in the community, which is based on things that happened years ago. So it is really obscure. Also, SMJS, to answer your question of why your server's the scapegoat, I don't know, it was just, that was the general chat at the time, that was where all the modders are and where all the kids are today.
Actually, I've enjoyed this podcast so much. Like, this is like a funny podcast. I love your company, man. Like, seriously. Oh, actually, my podcast, the like my favorite podcast, I guess before is with like EVW. He's such a funny man. I can't like. He's such a dad. Like,
I mean, he
seriously,
literally
he
is.
literally, yes, he literally a dad. So he's like a charming and like funny man.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Oh,
actually I don't think I've ever talked with EVW directly, which is kind of odd. Because, I mean, then again, like, I have talked to a lot of community figures. Like, I even have, like, that Demeran47 interview, and I've talked to Rockets and stuff. But then there's some people I've never talked to. Like, I don't think
hold
I've
up.
actually ever talked to
Wait,
EVW.
wait. I mean, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but did you see
Huh?
Drakus?
Yeah, Ruckus, Night Killer.
Is he alive?
Yeah, totally. I
And
think,
how do I contact him? If you know what I
honestly,
want to do with him, like.
yeah, honestly, I do not remember how I found his Discord. It was I generally cannot remember how I stumbled across that, but like I talked with him about because at the time I was working on a documentary in the same way as I did on Gamer 47. So I was working on a documentary on Rockets too, and I was like, oh shit, that's his Discord. Well, let's just ask him directly. So I talked with him about stuff, and then I never met the documentary. So
Oh yeah. So is this a real Drakus? Yeah. Because I remember like the incident with the fake one.
as far as I know, yes, although there's nothing I don't remember ever getting definitive proof. But I
Oh.
also never got any like reason to suspect they would be lying.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh, Completely unrelated to our topic and you as a guest, but I have like actually one question about like my podcast in general. Um, is it will be a banger idea to get Guitar Hero Styles here?
I wouldn't, but I mean, because
I
Guitar
mean,
Hero
like
Styles is,
controversial, yeah,
yeah,
controversial figure.
extremely controversial for a good reason.
Yeah, I will make a exclusive first 18 plus episode with a man called Dairamon. It's like a Russian legend, Russian figure, and 18 plus because of he's like, as far as I know, he is not a mentally stable person, so he can say stuff that will get me banned on the Twitch, especially. So it will be like released somewhere else. So I'm actually wanting to do that in a really long time, so I will do it. And maybe it's like making a spin-off, like some geometrical podcast, the darkest side. with the most controversial figures of the community. It's just like a funny idea. Can you please turn down the game on your mic, please? Oh my god,
I
that's
believe they tried to say gain, but
gain.
got off.
Oh yeah, about the gain, yeah, it is like I need new mic. It is like the problem in the mic itself about the gains. And I tried to fix it and I can't, so I will purchase the new mic shortly, I hope. And we will continue. That's why this we can call this under construction episode, because it's like a relic of the past. This episode like the conclusion of the year-long journey of mine in these settings, with this microphone, in these settings, and yeah, I will fix it eventually. So I'm sorry for like some inconvenience in my voice right now. So yeah. And I'm actually glad that HJfod joined me today in this such a heartbreaking episode, because I will leave everything at this stage like for a good. And last question before we go. I need to go myself. I need to do some stuff. Did you enjoy being in this community?
Like this community in general.
Yeah, in general, not the mountain community, like in community in general. Like, do you proud that you are certified geometry dasher?
Well, I mean, yeah, this is a really interconnected like gaming community, and like it is, it is so interesting. Like if when I, because the thing is that I also do have a real life. Like I do my studies and stuff, and I meet a lot of people who have nothing to do with. Like I only know like one GD player IRL. Like all of my IRL friends are related to completely different things, and it's so interesting when they like I don't really even talk about GD to them, and then sometimes I do mention that oh yeah I mod this game, and they're like you mod that mobile game from 2014, huh? It has how many players? What?
Yeah.
Like, it is so interesting how the GD community is such like a walled garden that people who are in it are really tight knit and really know each other and are so aware of everything. But then people who don't know about it don't know anything about it. It's not like something like Minecraft where even if you don't play the game at all, you're at least aware that it has a lot of players. But with GD, people just don't know anything about it unless they are in the community themselves, which is it's really interesting. Like considering that the community is really large, like for a small niche game, like I don't know, Spore or something nowadays, it's understandable that people don't know, but it's still played. But for GD, the community is so huge, but yet only people who still play it actually know about that, which is really like cool.
Yeah, it is like an anomaly in the indie gaming, because it's like the biggest local community in the entire industry.
Yeah.
I remember helping the Russian YouTuber Wondernope making a series of the videos about the Geometry Dash, because it like on hype, and he wanted just make a little video about this game. But when I started telling him stories and things that happened in GT, he was like hooked up, because he was like, what? How is this even possible? This is just like a little silly game from like when kids are playing in the school, like, and it have this. These reactions are genuinely like heart melting. I guess for me as a veteran of this game, seeing these like reactions, and I completely understand you, man. So yeah, and I guess that's it. I guess we will wrap it up, and I really hope that we will continue our conversation. But time is key. Time is money. So, and I really need to
Yeah.
do some stuff. So, thank you for
Yeah,
coming.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. It was really fun.
I agree, absolutely agree with you. It was fun to have a conversation with you in this environment. So, yeah, actually, great responses and actually great conversation. Oh my god, I'm feeling so relieved after the a hot day. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I hope we will get the second episode at some point. So we
Yeah,
have
sure.
some stuff to. I guess we have some stuff to discuss more.
Yeah, sure. I'd be up for it. Like, it's fun to do. Like, the podcast format, especially in this interview style, it's fun. It's just chill.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry for my fellow competitors' Dasher podcast, but fuck me, I don't want to listen 5 hours of the rambling with Riot. I'm so sorry. This is just unbearable. So, hi Cosmix, you are late for the party today. But the Cosmix, we need to discuss something in DMs, so please just check DMs about the podcast series. By the way, this guy Kazvix is like actually the first ever guest at my podcast. He is like a moderator in GD, like the first Russian moderator in a long while. So just
Oh,
it's all started because of him. So yeah. Okay, so I we will stop it here. So bye bye and thank you for coming, guys. We're not that many. We not had that many people on the stream, but it was like a chill local stream with figures of the modding community. And bye bye. See you next time.
hey, though.